Imagine this. Your country is collapsing and only two solutions exist. Either make all the rich give their money to the poor or send all the poor to die. Easy answer, right? Of course you'd choose to redistribute wealth. But here's the catch. The rich have tremendous power. If you try to take their wealth, they unite and resistant there, even entrenched in the military. To succeed, you must seize absolute power, and you need extraordinary luck and timing. Very few in history achieved this. Remarkably, FDR did it. We remember FDR's New Deal from textbooks as a series of progressive reforms. But in reality, it was more like a glorious takeover of business by an elected emperor. FDR himself said usually, it's the money class that revolts. I've never heard of businessmen rebelling. If you refuse change, my FBI will come knocking. So, let's look at the mess in 1932, as described in Crisis 1932. Official 25% unemployment, but real data shows 37%, non-minus farm unemployment 80% in places like Ohio. Investment collapsed by 90%. Real income lower than 30 years ago. Banks were failing by the thousands. People lost trust in banks. If there's no reliable money, banks can't create new credit, so businesses can't get loans, and the economic spiral intensifies. Over 16 million jobs disappeared, fueling unrest. Armed farmer uprisings erupted. 4,000 men seized the Nebraska State House, and 5,000 farmers stormed Seattle. Revolution seemed imminent. Governors called for martial law. Police cracked down, beating crowds with batons, provoking more chaos. Riots and bank runs became nationwide. By the end of 1932, America was teetering, and on that weekend, FDR was about to be sworn in. He could see the danger. He deployed police and the National Guard, but whispered reports admit the U.S. couldn't control a nationwide uprising. People waited, tuned to FDR's inaugural speech. Win them, and he could hold the nation at bay. Falter, and revolution might break out. FDR reached out to every power base, media, military, business, politicians. With this message, America is broken. We're all to blame, but point-minus cutting can wait. I will launch reforms that will shake entrenched interests. But bear with me, help me fix this. If you resist, I can call on World War I veterans to enforce order. Why would they listen to him? Because FDR's uncle, Teddy, had built the veterans of 4 on wars. Still powerful, in 1932, with over 1 million members ready to mobilize. By Sunday at 11:30 he delivered the address nation-wide radio broadcast. He spoke with conviction. I know you're scared. People can't afford food. Banks are failing. But the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I will confront this crisis with every tool, even war if needed, to preserve American dignity. Effective immediately, banks will be temporarily closed. Government is stepping back to strategize. Though it was a bold declaration, it didn't fix the crisis. Because America cherishes democracy, and many outlets interpreted FDR's tone as dictatorial. Time magazine said America is under siege. The NY Times screamed HES becoming a dictator. But instead of rejecting him, Americans rallied. They were tired of endless gridlock, and the rise of dictators like Hitler and Stalin had convinced them authoritarianism can work if it means food on the table. Enter William Randolph Hearst again. He produced a movie, Angel Descends, on the White House, glorifying an elected dictator who dissolves Congress, uses unemployed workers as an army, and assassinates his rivals, all to restore national order. FDR even helped finesse the script and praised it. Excellent help get Americans ready. Constitution. FDR said, file that away. When I need it, he'll bring it out. For now, trust me. To the outside world, he distanced himself from dictatorship. But internally, he didn't hide it. Freedom had to yield to necessity. With aggressive media support, the Democrats easily gained a 2-3 Senate majority, giving FDR control of executive and legislative power, a near-imperial state in a constitutionally limited nation. What happened next? That's for another episode.
Mr. History, and if this provoked your curiosity, hit subscribe to get the next chapter first. Thanks for watching. See you next time.